take two, since this didn't want to record anything I did already. This is my Type 4 number 8 Stanley. Type 4 meaning the kind of the model year, if you will, and then number 8 being obviously the size of it. This is just going to be a cleanup of it. As far as tuning, my video on the number 4 and the 112 already show flattening the sole and a full restoration on the number 4. So this one I'm just going to show a cleanup of it. Plus also being a Type 4, very old, late 1800s, 1870s time frame. So I'm not going to modify this in any way. I'm not going to paint it. I'm not going to strip it. I'm just going to clean it, definitely, because it's gunky. I can't even read it. Clean these up. These I will retreat, though. I'm going to clean these off, get the gunk off, put some teak oil on there, see how that does, with some turpentine and maybe some vinegar, just like I did with the hand planes in the other video. And then I'm going to spray some shellac on there. I've got a couple more knobs and totes I got to get done and get that done. By comparison, this is the Stanley. This is my one of my favorite planes. This is my Ohio number 8. Number 8 is 08 for Ohio. They're 24 inches long. They're amazing joiners. And they're wide. They're wider than the 6 to 7, your 4.5, your 5.5. They're the widest blades out there. And they're really awesome. If you get a chance to get one, I highly suggest you do. Flattening tabletops is just wonderful with them. So this one I stripped completely, sanded the knob and the tote, shellacked them, repainted it, cleaned everything, and that one's that one. This one I'm going to do a little bit different. There's going to be more of just a cleaning and a light sanding. So I'm still going to flatten the sole. I'm going to get the rust off of it and clean the blade up. I'm not sure if I'm necessarily going to use it. If I do, I'm going to get a new blade for it, or iron, not blade. And then I'll protect that. So that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to pause this, figure out who's text messaging me, and then we'll do a quick cleanup on this. Before Stanley started casting their dates into the bed right here, or onto the lateral adjustment lever, this is where it was. So if you have a Stanley that you can't tell how old it is, and it's got old logos, old features, it doesn't have Stanley written in those big block letters on the lever lateral adjustment, this is where you look. And that's why I had such a hard time placing this, because it was so gunky I couldn't read that. I'm gonna let that soak some more. Okay, it's been a few days since the last scene you saw, even though this video might entirely be in fast forward and voiceover. But we left off with the turpentine. I wiped it down, and it started to get a little bit of surface rust on there, so while we were gone, I just did a quick light sanding on it. Not a flattening, but just to knock the rust off. These guys I soaked in a blend of cider vinegar, turpentine, and teak oil, hoping that the teak oil would not darken the wood like boiled linseed oil would. Unfortunately, it did. A little bit, I think. In hindsight, it's probably not as dark as I thought it was. I can still see a little bit of the wood grain. This wood was already very dark to begin with. And then the last 2 days, I sprayed it with lacquer and let it dry. Someday, long in the future, I'll patch that. I'm not at that point yet. That's a whole other video, and I'm not really working on that right now. I've got way too much stuff to do. So where we're at right now, I'm going to go ahead and take this stuff. I'm going to take the chip breaker and the iron, and I'm going to sand it with a block and 320. But I think I'm going to start with 220 because the 320 is not really cutting through a lot of this heavy age like I'd like to. And I'm not even sure if I want to remove this. I kind of like that patina. But these, I like cleaning these up and being able to see the logo. This here is, I'm going to have to pull this out in order to do that. It's already loose. And then I'll get the sides as well. The bottom of it, like I said already, is going to be flattened. I'm not going to videotape that. It's going to be the same as if you look at the YouTube channel, video number 7. This is that same hand plane that was so rusty that I got it for free. I did a video number 7 is all about cleaning this one up. Now I've done some work since then. I lacquered the knobs and the toe, polish, clean this up, sanded up the iron with 320, just like I'm going to do here. So you can see the logo in there now, the lateral adjustment, and the lever cap as well. So basically that's the same thing I'm going to do with this one now. So back to the fast forward so I can listen to my music and turn my heat back on because it's 10 degrees outside. Okay, done with the 220. I'm getting ready to start with the 320. You can see where it uncovered. I don't know if you can see with the glare. I'm perpetually cursed with bad lighting. The very, very early Stanleys had their logo on the chip breaker as well. That went away shortly after this plane was made. I realize you can't see that. There we go. So that's 220, and then I also did the back side of the lever cap with the 220 also. I just put it there, rubbed it like I'm just flattening the back of iron, and did that. So I'm putting new gloves on. I got a hole in my last one. This is why I wear gloves, because this gets up on your hands. It's a very, very dirty process. When I did the bottom for video number 7, I probably did 20 planes that day, and I'll never do that many in a day again. And I definitely felt it. It's not something you want to do a lot of. Do it in moderation, a couple planes at a time. Pace yourself. It's definitely worth it. Finished up with 320. Very important that we oil everything at this point. Very pleased with the turnout, or the way it turned out, I should say. This iron is extremely old, and I don't mean, obviously it's from the late 1800s. I mean it's well used. See if I got an example right here. This is a a fairly late model number 4 that I'm going to work on next. See the difference between the top of the chip breaker and the top of the iron, and then this one here, you can't even see the logo underneath the chip breaker when you have it in position. So this one has, and this is another old one here. This is the number 4 from video number 7. This is probably a type 11. I'm not sure if this is the original iron or not. This is actually, I think, an older iron than this plane is. This should be the first generation to have the adjustable frog screw back there, and you can see how much more iron is there on this one. And I got another number 7, or yeah, I got 2 number 7s that have a lot more. You know, they're up like that. So well used, and being a Type 4, I'm not going to use it, so it's basically just going to get oiled and preserved in its current state. So oily rag in a can, if you don't have one, you're missing out. Really, there are people that make videos on how to assemble this, but seriously, it's an oily rag in a can. You don't need a video. Finding the right size can, however, that could be a challenge. This is my second can, and I'm still not happy with it. So 3-in-1 oil, wipe it down heavily. You can probably just pour it straight on and wipe it on too, especially if you're not going to be using it. If you're going to use it, thin amounts that you can reapply as you use it. The thinner the better. It'll work and it won't transfer to your workpiece. But this one, like I said, I'm not using this one, so my Ohio number 8 is my user in the meantime until I get a mid-year number 7 or number 8 from Stanley. But the Type 4s I'm definitely not going to use. I haven't sharpened it. Don't freak out. If this was a one that I was going to use and I sharpened it, be very careful about these crossing like that. It's going to mess up your edge. Also, I haven't tuned this chip breaker either, since I'm probably going to end up using it at the end of the day, but I'm not planning on it. So if I do, I will definitely take this apart, clean that chip breaker up, put it back on there. That's a whole other set of videos for that. This one, I decided to go ahead and leave it the way it is, so I'm just going to oil it. I went ahead and hit that with 320 also. Get in there, get all that, all those corners. Good and oily. All right, I'm going to set that aside, and we'll get back to this. I'm going to go ahead and work on these in the meantime. I'm going to sand these up a little bit, probably wax them. I might oil them, I'm not sure. And then this, I'm going to hit with a 600 grit, maybe 1,000 grit, and just clean those up. So once I get ready, you'll see that. Cheat a little bit between cuts there. Really not a good idea to hold anything in your hand like this. I already had it kicked once. So obviously that really sped things up here. I'm going to pull the frog out now. I don't remember if I loosened it up or if it was already loose. Regardless, I'm pretty sure I loosened it up because I don't remember it. Yeah, because we all cleaned it together. Take that out in editing. All right, so a little bit of rust down here, not too bad. A lot of rust here. So for this, I'm going to pull the screw out of here if I can. Yeah, it's loose. I will clean that up, and then this, I'm just going to put some sandpaper here, clean that up, clean the mounting surfaces up the same way, and then this little bastard is dirty. Yeah, I can't believe how dirty this thing was. I'm probably going to soak this in some degreaser to try and get that, because this is still gunked up too. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to soak in some degreaser for a while, and then work on some other projects, and then we'll come back to this. Alright, this is pretty much the end of the... Oh, wait, no. There's one more thing I want to do. So, like I said, I see something unusual. I went ahead and scrubbed that, and then turned it around, dropped it off the edge, and scrubbed that area as well. So, it appears that the Japanning, which is the finish, the paint back then, it's not paint, it's something else. It's still mostly intact, so this is not one I want to redo, I don't think, at this point. So like I said, I'm just going to put this in some degreaser. I might try some dish soap first, just see if that cleans it up, and then get that gunk out of there too, and out of here as well. So I'm going to do that, but first I'm going to come back to this and pull these out. That one's frozen in there. And get those out of the way. So I'm just going to clean that bed up as best I can now. All of this stuff, like I said, is going to get oil. These, I'm not going to repaint them. I'm going to clean it some more, and I'm just going to use wax. So I'm going to wipe it on thick, let it dry, wipe it off. That's it. Does that fit? Oh, it does. All right. So this one, I'm not going to wrap around this way because I don't want to rub the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll probably use my card scraper more than anything, just because I use it to cut sandpaper. It's very handy that way. Slow progress. This is going to take a while, so you get the idea. Now, every time I turn around, I'm saying this is the last thing. Last thing. The sides. I already went over it once with, I think, 400 grit, but I'm going to go back up to the 320, and I'm just going to scrub down the sides real quick to get any rust, and the bottom as well. Dirt everywhere, rust, toxic. I feel like I'm getting tetanus just breathing this. So much for having this piece here to keep my table clean. Damn, I gotta vacuum that. All right, let me catch my breath. Remember when I said repeatedly throughout this video that I don't plan on using this? I know you do, because I don't. What does that mean to me? Why am I bringing that up? Because it means I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and clean the frog, like I said. We'll come back to that. in the house right now. But I'm not going to flatten the sole of this because I'm not going to use it. So that's as far as I'm going to go with it. I'm going to oil it. I'm going to protect it. I'm going to clean the hardware up. And I'm done. I'm not going any further with this plane from what I have here except for cleaning the inside of this and waxing it, and that's it. So I'm not going to flatten the sole. It's a lot of work for a plane I'm not going to use. I'm just leave it the way it is. So that's where I'm at right now. Alright, so this is the next to the last scene for this entire video. I took this inside and used dish soap. The gunk came off. I'm going to put some oil. No, I'm not. I'm going to put wax on this. I just like the results better that way. I think it's longer lasting than oil. And I'll oil the rest of this heavily. And I'm going to put it all back together. I'm going to put all this back together. I'm going to wax this, put it all back together. You cannot get my light out. I really got to find a stand for this thing. Unfortunately, my tripod, that step gets in the way. I cleaned up the inside there. Still really dirty on the sides. It's frustrating, really baked in there. So I'm going to try and clean that out as much as possible. And then I'm just going to wax it, and I'm going to call it a day. You'll see, photos of the reassembled product, and that'll be it. So thanks for watching. Now we're on Instagram. I still really don't get the program. If you do, shoot me a message and help me out. So along with not really knowing how it works, I'm not really uploading stuff very often. So getting there, Pinterest, Tumblr, all that stuff, Facebook. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.